And with stages and theaters closed during the pandemic, creatives are having to get, well, creative now. Student actors at the Miracle Project are set to premiere their first original virtual musical. The local group offers theater, film, and art programs for kids with autism. CBS NLA's Jasmine Veal spoke to founder Elaine Hall.
Tell us more about this premiere of The Influencer, as it's called, and your story, Elaine, behind this idea. So good to have you again.
Well, thank you so much. It's really exciting to be here. We started writing an original musical. There we go. We started writing an original musical in the fall about the influencer, like who influences you? What are you influenced by? And how can you be an influencer? And we wrote the story with all original music starring individuals on the autism spectrum and other disabilities and all abilities. They're non-autistic peers. We were all set to perform it in May at the Wallace Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts. And then, of course, when the pandemic hit, when COVID-19 hit, we realized that we would not be able to perform it live. So we have created an original musical set to premiere next week, and it stars all of the actors, all original music, and the thing that makes it so extraordinary is that it was filmed entirely in quarantine, and each student had to do audio record themselves. They had to come up with their own costume with whatever they had at home, and they had to videotape themselves. So even though you see us all together here in the piece, the reality is everyone filmed themselves at home. And we had a brilliant editor, Justin Anthony Long, who pieced it together with a genius, and an incredible music director putting all the music together, Noel Katz, and just a whole team. Parents participating, helping out, siblings participating, helping out. It was quite extraordinary.
Take me back to what inspired you to create the Miracle Project in the first place.
The Miracle Project originally came from, I have a son who is autistic, and when he was diagnosed at age 2, this was now 23 years ago, and traditional therapies did not work for him. But what did work was, and I'm an acting coach, TV and film acting coach, and what did work is when I joined his autistic world and I used what I knew best, which was acting and movement. I'm a former dancer, so I used movement to reach him. And when he would flap his hands, I'd flap with him, and we'd make it birds, and we'd flap around the room. And I completely accepted and appreciated his autism. From that, from using creativity, he merged into our world, still autistic, but happy and connected, still non-speaking, but clearly communicating his wants and needs. And from that, he's now a young adult and has presented with me all over the country, including the United Nations, and has just grown to be an advocate himself. That same methods that I created for my son developed into the Miracle Project, which is a theater and film program of all abilities. And I'm really happy to say that there's been 2 HBO documentaries that features the Miracle Project. One is Autism the Musical, and the other is Autism the Sequel. And we now have classes in Los Angeles, over 150 students a week, and across the country. It's being replicated at Brown University and at the Mayo Performing Arts Center and at other locations across the country with workshops all over the world. Yeah, just from my son. Yeah. It all started
with him. I mean, your story is beautiful, and you are so inspiring. Quickly then, how can people virtually watch this production?
you can come to our show. You can virtually watch us. If you go to the Miracle Project website, which is themiracleproject.org, there's all information. The show is called The Influencer, and excited to have you.
And it's coming up next week.
Premieres on the 25th, and then that following Sunday.
Thank you so much for the time. Best of luck, and we'll be watching.
Thank you so much.
That was Jasmine Veal reporting. Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on CBS in Los Angeles. We'll hear from one of the student actors about his experience rehearsing for The Influencer musical.